saying her name for myself.
Have
Always.
you had enough coffee yet, Kai?
I have not. I have not. Running a business, running a small business, I feel that you need to have enough coffee. And today I have not.
Right. Well, small business, family, like busy wife, busy kids.
Hmm.
We're gonna get you more coffee to start off next time.
Right. So here we go. We're talking about 1QR in small business. And we really want to give you some insights in marketing. Think about everything that you do in marketing. How can you maximize the exposure of your business? Because the world has changed in marketing and how people consume information. We need to make sure that we're adaptive. We have to be able to present information to people in real time. And what's a technology that can do that? Well, it's QR code marketing, and specifically, it is 1QR. So,
Absolutely.
as
And
I
well, and I had you got to add like not only that, but small businesses need the technology that big businesses have, right? And so we're able to package these QR codes at the right price for a small business to use them, even though you're seeing huge brands using the QR code marketing. It's not just for them.
It's not just for them. And this is
Mm-mm,
one
no.
QR brings it to the table for anybody to implement into their business. I'm not always going to say I can guarantee that QR code marketing is going to work because I can't guarantee if you're going to work. But I can guarantee that if you implement it, you're going to have positive results. You're going to have um, the information being presented to that person at that exact time. You have that captive audience who wants to know, where is this QR code going to take me? So we're just going to go through a few examples and give you some insights, glean onto you the importance of being able to think about your marketing. What am I spending? It should be one of the most important things to you in your business. And just make sure that everything we do in marketing is not repetitive. It's I'm not going to continue doing the same thing and expect to get different results. I'm not going to continue to spend 10 to 15% of my revenue on marketing, if not more, and hope that it's going to work. We can prove that through implementation of 1QR, you're going to see positive results.
Absolutely.
So when talking about small business, this sort of lumps together all kinds of small business, whether that's a brick and mortar, it's someone who's running something out of a van, if it's something you're doing farmers markets, we all have to sort of think, how am I getting in front of a consumer? How am I giving them information about me, my story, what we do? We want to be able to have a way that people can interact. And so many times there's print collateral, Kathy, and I think that's where a lot of people just their minds automatically go to with QR codes is if I put it on print, I'm going to drive them to a website. Well,
Yep.
yeah, that's how most QR codes work is drive them to a website. But what if something changes? Most QR code marketing, about 95% of what people are utilizing are static, meaning if anything ever changes, I've got to reprint everything. Dynamic is the way to go. We have to be
Yep.
able to adjust. And 1QR, our platform is only dynamic QR codes. You're in control. You own where that QR code goes to.
And you know what? Let's like break that down for somebody. And using this example, right? So here we are. Maybe we're at a farmer's market, and we say we're producing our own honey, and there's videos on how we do it, right? So we're going to take you to the hives and show you our process. But then what if something like you to your point, something changes, or you want to show a different video, right? You've updated your marketing, and you've printed 10,000 of these little tags, and you're like, oh, I don't want to throw all those away. You don't have to throw them away. No more reprinting and worrying about where did that QR code go. By dynamic, we mean you can literally go in the backside of our app or on the desktop, change the link of what video is linked to that QR code, and continue your process. Continue using those same tags because they're now going to change to the new video. Or, again, maybe it's not a video. Maybe you haven't put videos on there. Maybe it goes to a digital business card or a landing page or whatever you want it to go to, because you can change it not just from one kind, but to a different different landing page or a different product under one QR.
Exactly. Now, we just want to give a lot of examples here throughout this presentation and talking about one QR and small business. We all know the popularity of food trucks and quick service, being able to instantly access the latest menu. A lot of times you'll see a food truck adjust their menu monthly, and being able to say, how do I reduce my cost in marketing? Because that's one of the most important things to me. Yet I also know that I'm spending quite a bit of money on it. How do I reduce that to be able to be in control? With one QR, like we're talking, dynamically adjust. Maybe it goes from a website to a website or to a specific offering, different products. I get that ability to do that. If your marketing continues to look the same as it did the last 6 months, you're falling behind. And this is something to continually ideating and thinking on. Anytime you do something, we just want to be able to shift. We want to be able to say, hey, no two people are the same. No two marketing elements should be the same. So I want to make sure that ingredients change. If people want to learn the story about our food truck, our business, I can allow for that to be consumed from someone's phone who's standing right in front of a sign.
Is it my shift on the Yum Truck? I don't know. The one QR Yum Truck it's one of my favorites. On the like we can't miss this though. On the menus, is one QR has a scheduling feature, right? So maybe your food truck has a breakfast menu, a lunch menu, and a dinner menu, and you can have it change automatically through the day just by scheduling those changes. I think that's one of the coolest features that we offer someone that does need to dynamically change throughout the day or throughout the week.
Then we think about our social platforms. A lot of small business, that's where they live. That's where they're marketing. They're doing things on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. That's where they're driving eyeballs. And if you're spending money in ads there, or you're hoping that you gain followers, you need a way to get them there. If you're meeting someone in person, if you're saying, hey, I would like a follow, don't force the individual to have to, oh, well, what is your handle so I can go find you and follow you? You can simply just have a QR code. You mentioned earlier, Kathy, from an app. One QR has a mobile responsive app, both for Android and Apple, that works. I can do everything on my computer. I can do everything on my app. And I can sit there and say, hey, we're talking. I would love a follow. Go ahead and scan this QR code. Hey, you know what? We would love to do some business. We're all about lead generation and getting more people to interact. Scan this QR code and send me an email. Don't worry, I've already pre-built the message for you. It's already coming to my email. Just type your name in and we can interact through email. We can interact through text. We can do the exact same thing. I'm going to put my phone number in. I'm going to put the message in. You scan it. It's popped up. It takes the guesswork out of everything. You scan it and you're interacting in real time with that person.
Yep, 100%. Oh, and I spent years going to craft fairs and doing booths for a business, and I'll tell you, I've had someone hand me a business card that had their entire Facebook URL, all letters, numbers, everything typed across the bottom, and I was like, oh, I really want to follow you, but I don't have the brain space and type all that into Facebook. And just imagine how fast. I think one of the favorite things that you said to me this morning, I don't even know that you know I wrote this down. Consumers demand instant interaction. It is so true. People just want to go, how do I do this? Just quickly. How do I do this quickly? And I want to buy this from you, or I want to follow you, or I want to know more about you, but I need to do it quickly because I've got to get on to the next thing.
Right. Time is our most valuable asset. We just want to make it so someone can scan, interact, move on to the next thing. You had mentioned from that last scenario, put it on your business card. Simply have it so I don't have to type out your whole Instagram handle, URL, whatever that is. Scan it, select it, connect, follow. Interactive signage is something we're seeing more and more these days, where you can turn posters, banners, anything into that action that you want someone to do. You know, they can buy something, they can book something, they can sign up, learn more, whatever it is, you're in control. And if you're just having a sign with no call to action, you're missing the point. Call to actions are everything in marketing. You want someone to do something. You want to have a phenomenal first impression. You want to have a lasting impression. This impression, it really is essentially impression marketing. I am getting an impression by someone scanning, and I'm getting them to go where I want. You'd mentioned large companies, large businesses. You're seeing them more and more on advertisements, on commercials, and through television, on YouTube ads, different types of things. Every once in a while, you'll see a QR code. Those large businesses understand where their eyeballs are. They understand where their consumers are. And in the same sense, this is why OneQR is coming to small business and saying, you can do this for yourself. And you can do it on everything print. You can, if you're doing paid ads on YouTube, implement a QR code for that call to action. You're going to have that captive audience. And I promise you, you're going to be excited to see the increase of interaction happening with your business, the increase of orders, the increase of reach out to have conversations and learn more about what you do and your offerings.
100%. Oh, I mean, I don't even know what to add. It's so true. They're everywhere, right? QR codes are people tell me that all the time. I need to implement these because I know they're coming even more. And just being able to help people do that easily, and learn something, because our platform, believe us, it's easy, it's intuitive. When we built it, we were like, we want people to be able to feel very confident using OneQR. So I just love, where it's headed.
One thing that just resonated with me that you had just said is, well, I need to do this. I know it's coming. Well, why are we waiting? If we know it's coming, it's almost like the definition of insanity. I'm still going to do everything I've always done and expect to get a different result. Why not just say, hey, let's implement this. Let's see what happens. Because the only way you're going to get a different result is doing something different. There's so many times we're always trying to advance ourselves and grow. And if not, if that's something you don't want to do, then I guess QR code technology isn't for you. But you can't afford to ignore the way people are interacting and the way people are marketing today, the way people are consuming information. There's a reason why you have large companies taking their cameras and making it so their camera now scans a QR code compared to 5 years ago. Download a QR code scanner. They're advancing this along. They're saying, hey, this is the way to do things. Let's just step back and say, okay, if I'm marketing with print, and for example, here we go, the special offer. If I'm marketing in print, how do I get someone online to take advantage of that offer? I'm not just going to say, go to this website and use this link, use this special discount code. No, I'm going to make it simple for them. Because again, time is of the essence. People want instant gratification. This is a way that they're interacting. Walk into any coffee shop and look who's not on their computer. They're most likely on their phone. This is where your captive audience is. You are not competing against other people who do the exact same type of business you do. You're competing against attention. And our attention spans are much shorter now compared to all the push notifications that you get on what happened on this social platform, compared to, hey, I've got a captive individual who wants to know this special offer. Give them that simple way to do that. They've got their phone, they're already looking at it. They simply swipe over to their camera and scan the QR code, and they're interacting with your information.
Absolutely. I mean, but to your point, right? It started years ago with here's the URL, go to this website, right? We were told what to type in. Then it was text this code and we'll send you more information. But if you forget the code or you like you said, fat finger it, then all of a sudden you're not in the right place and you're not getting the information. Simply scanning. And I can't tell you, like I told you the story about being at the airport and how the QR codes they're on the table to order, they're on the table to pay. You don't even, talk to somebody and you're instantly getting the gratification of my orders in, my payments in, I'm going to get on my flight on time. Everything's done already, right? So let people have that. What we were talking about, the 2-second goldfish. They don't have time to worry about anything. They just need to keep moving through the things that they're thinking about.
Yeah, exactly. And that this is the technology that's going to do it. It's your bridge to essentially say, here's a key, open the door to what I have. Here's what we do. Small business, so many, onto this next slide, so many businesses are looking for reviews. They're driven on reviews. Give me a review. Go here, go to our website and give us a review. Those are phenomenal things that can be bridged with a QR code. Scan, direct to the testimonials. This is, this person, this business did a phenomenal print job on our newest shirts. I couldn't be more happy with how they handled everything, and the turnaround time and essentially the economics of it was first class. Those are the type of things that people are always looking at. I'm one of those skeptic aspect type persons where my wife sends me something, we should look at ordering this, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go look for reviews. Or a new restaurant, I'm going to go look for reviews. I think a lot of people actually do that, but just making it a simpler way for someone to find those reviews. What's cool about OneQR is each QR code, it can be printed and it can be scanned directly from your phone because we have the app, but each QR code also generates a short link. So a lot of times, I get it. I don't print a lot. I just try to get people that are online to take action. Well, OneQR generates a short link. That short link acts just as if someone were to scan a QR code. So you share that through social. You take your short link and you put it on your social posts. You put it in your handles. You text it, you email. That's what's going to get someone interactive. And also what's really cool is we can prove it works because you get real-time notification if it's getting scanned or clicked. Some other things that's really cool is new features that we released as of late is the location. We know specifically where a QR code is going to be scanned. If I've got a service, and let's take an HVAC or an air conditioning company, and you're probably getting warm down there in Texas, so that's what I was thinking.
I believe it.
Is think about getting something where you are actively marketing and advertising and showing what you do. You can scan that QR code and get service. I can also forward that link along. So either the short link or I scan the QR code and it goes to the destination. I can send that to someone else who, I know they've had issues with their air conditioning system, and there's this van out front of our neighbors. I am driving interaction. I am driving consumers to what we do. And a lot of times things aren't thought about until they see something.
Yeah.
Until, oh, yeah, we need to get that fixed, even though air conditioning is something that it's not an, oh, yeah, it's like we need to do it now. We need to find somebody. Scan the QR code, follow us. Scan the QR code, see our reviews. Scan the QR code and set a service up. You're making it simple for the consumer to do that. I'm not putting I can put my phone number on our service vehicle, but you're still causing that little bit of friction where someone's got to dial the phone number instead of scan the QR code and call. It's you've saved that person 30 seconds, 15
Or
seconds.
maybe it's scan the QR code and download their business card. I mean, maybe, and which, you can prompt a lead capture on and you capture their information. All they had to do is, one scan, put in their information. Please call me. I'm desperate. My house is, I'm hot.
Yeah. Yeah. I think QR codes, especially through one QR, really revolutionizing marketing and
Yeah.
advertising. The aspect of what you've been seeing here through the examples is each QR code is also different. The customization, you want it to fit your brand. You want to have a differentiation. You don't want to just say, well, yeah, QR code, I can just go get the one from my URL finder up there and generate one with a dinosaur. Well, then you're like everyone else, and there's no differentiation. There's no saying, hey, I've got this bright, new, shiny thing that's driving me business that I get to control. I saw over the weekend at a new restaurant a QR code, thank you to one QR, that is pointing to the story of the owners. It's a new Italian restaurant. And then you go through and you see all the art and the photos of legacy family people who have had that restaurant in other locations and why they decided to start it here. You can't tell that story just by walking through, but they've got a QR code that you can scan and read and watch a video and see why they're so passionate about what they do, which then encourages you to say, hey, I went to this really cool restaurant and I've got a simple way to share that to everyone else. I've got a simple way to go in and give them one of their first reviews. Those are the type of things that we all get the availability to do with one QR.
Well, I think that especially a small business, I mean, big businesses, we can talk about that in a whole different, realm, but a small business, most of us have a digital footprint of some kind, right? We've got a website, we probably have social media, right? So that's multiple things: Facebook, Instagram, maybe a LinkedIn, maybe a YouTube, telling your story. And then you've got your Google review links. You have a lot of things that you have put time and energy into making that you need to get to the people, right? The people aren't going to go search for all those things. So if you tell me, hey, follow me on Facebook, but I'm not a real big Facebooker, right? I'm not going to help you very much if I'm a big Instagrammer, right? So maybe you have a micro page with one QR, a one QR micro page that just simply gives me all your links. Right, we just got Chris's windows tinted yesterday on a new car, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna send you a Google review," and I'm like, "Oh." Or let's talk about this. Maybe you have a QR code as someone's checking out that gives it to you. They could be standing here as you're swiping their credit card, and they're leaving you that Google review right then. And then they choose what of their favorite social media page, and they follow you. And maybe they put out a review. Hey, let's take a picture before you leave of your new tint on your car that looks so amazing. Do it all right then, because as soon as they leave, they're thinking about swim practice and feeding the kids and what's for dinner and all the things. So keep them a captive audience and send them everything very easily one time.
You just gave so many examples right there from marketing. And, You can have different placards all over there. And we talk about the expense earlier. We are talking about the expense in marketing. You save so much. We're not asking you to do more. We're just asking you to get more out of what you do and to actually be able to track it and understand what's working. There's multiple industries out there that do a lot of print. They've got their flyers, their brochures, and that's a heavy expense. But if there were a way to say, hey, I can digitize this by having QR code that I don't have to print as much. Mm-hmm. And you know what? If something changes, I don't have to do a whole new reprint because my QR code is dynamically adjusted by myself to go to the new thing. So what we've been doing behind the scenes for quite some time, and this might be new to a lot of you who are viewing this, is we've got a lot of insight. We've got a lot of updates happening and shares. And so we say, hey, visit us here. We're ones is going to say, go to this website, but also scan the QR code. That's going to get you there. That's going to be, you can join our community. Even if you're not a user of OneQR, you can get an idea of how to implement QR codes and what's happening and what's new and fresh in this industry. There's things that we'll be able to do with a QR code in the next 1 to 5 years that we haven't even thought of. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing seeing those types of things being implemented into OneQR. Marketing isn't one size fits all, like we had earlier mentioned. It's one size fits no one. So if we think about that, it's one size fits no one. We got to be able to adjust. Yep. Static marketing is dead. I wouldn't say that's just from our perspective. I'd say a lot of people are starting to realize that. Adaptive marketing is what's going to win for you in your business. Change is uncomfortable. As you had mentioned, I need to be doing that. I know technology, I know QR codes are a way. Change is uncomfortable, but so is being irrelevant. If you're irrelevant, if you don't cater to your potential customers and clients, they'll go to someone else who will. Make it simple for people to work with you.
Yep.
We always look at that, Kathy. We talk about it ad nauseum. How simple do we make it for people to work with us? We have to think about that from our technology itself. Like you're saying, this is very simple. We've got a user base that runs the gamut from teenage to 80.
Yep.
And they're utilizing it and they're implementing it. So we just don't want you to have a stuck problem with what you're doing. It's really not about the QR code itself. It's what you do with it and how you drive action.
Well, don't you? I mean, it was funny. It just dawned on me when you were talking static to dynamic, right? It's the same reason why for years we've heard video sells. It went from you used to post pictures on social media, and now what do you post? Video, because it's dynamic, it's engaging, it's giving more information than a single picture can. Mm-hmm. This is the next step. Now I need you to engage with me personally on the things I want to deliver to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Telling isn't selling. Showing, giving an example,
giving the order link, right. Giving the thing that you're maybe, we've talked about that a million times, right? Don't make me go to page 3 of your website and scroll all the way down and try and figure out how to order the thing. If I'm interested, show me how to order it right now again, so I can get on with my day.
I've got that captive audience. They want to interact with it right now.
Yeah, picture them all as goldfish.
Exactly. So we do have our social sites up. We talked about it. How fast can you get someone to to your social sites to follow. It's as simple as scan each QR code. The recording of this will be available over on our YouTube channel. That is oneqr.com, as well as available on oneqr.com probably later today. Here's your call to action. If you have an idea, an inkling, you need to think about implementing QR codes into your marketing, try it out for free. We've got that availability with OneQR. You can do pretty much everything with a free dynamic QR code from OneQR. You can have it go into a website, different web pages, whatever you want someone to go to. There are some limitations from free. We do have additional packages that give you a lot more power and insight on knowing what's happening. Explore it for yourself. So you can just go to oneqr.com, select get one for free, or go to oneqr.com/sign up and go through the process, generate your first QR code. Think about where you're going to start implementing it. You can't expect different results if you're not doing anything different. So if you need any help after this, here's another QR code. Isn't it cool, Kathy, how we're utilizing technology for people to watch? And if you're watching on your computer, you can scan it with your phone. If you're watching it on your phone, you can go to a web link, you can push a button, you can get to access of where you need to go. If you have questions, go to our support. We also have a ton of wikis that have been implemented. Thank you to Kathy and our team on just giving you ideas on where to implement and how to utilize OneQR in your marketing.
Yeah, if you have questions or you need us to write a wiki specifically to what you do, we love to hear from everyone about, what kind of business do you have? Maybe you're not sure how to implement QR codes in your business. Send us a support question and let us know, like, this is the unique thing that I do. What are the first 10 QR codes that you would make? We would love to interact with you and help you with that.
Those are the type of things we'd love to generate and make available to our audience. Because small business, it runs the gamut. You can't just be lumped into this is one specific thing. We want to make it so it's adaptive to you and your business. So it is follow these steps, implement QR codes, and advance my business. We know that through implementation, as I've probably said ad nauseum, through implementing OneQR, you will inevitably see advancements happening, whether that's interaction, orders, more customers. It's going to happen with certainty. It will. So we appreciate you all spending a little bit of time with us. And if you watch us in replay, thank you. Go ahead and like, follow, share to anyone else in small business that you can think of, because this wave is a massive one, and it's really just starting to build, because we see a few QR codes here and there, and soon you're going to see them everywhere. So, Kathy, I appreciate this. As always, thank you for taking some of your time to talk about what OneQR with me. It's always exciting to see what we're doing here, the new features that we're constantly working on. How this will really enhance someone's business is a passion of ours. We just want to be able to say, hey, let's maximize your exposure. Let's increase your visibility. And you can do it with OneQR.